Welcome to your Past Week in Politics. I'm Joe Matz. The biggest story this week was the testimony of Michael Cohen, President Trump's former personal lawyer. The House Oversight Committee heard Cohen's testimony on Tuesday before each representative asked him questions individually. Cohen lied to Congress and was convicted earlier this year on tax fraud and lying charges. In his opening statement, Cohen berated President Trump, who he implicated in hush money payments to Stormy Daniels. Cohen also said that he was persuaded by people around the president to lie about dates for the discussions of the Trump Tower Moscow project.
Because I know what Mr. Trump is. He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat. Mr. Trump knew of and directed the Trump-Moscow negotiations throughout the campaign and lied about it. He asked me to pay off an adult film star with whom he had an affair and to lie about it to his wife, which I did.
The questions from the Oversight Committee were split along party lines. Democrats focused on specifics of Cohen's implications of Trump, while Republicans spent their time stressing that Cohen is a convicted liar. Representative Jim Jordan from Ohio's 4th District, a ranking member of the committee, said that the Democrats were using Cohen to disparage the president and start the impeachment process.
Clinton loyalist, Clinton operative Lanny Davis has persuaded the chairman of the Oversight Committee to give a convicted felon a forum to tell stories and lie about the President of the United States so they can all start their impeachment process. Mr. Chairman, we are better than this. We are better than this.
A particularly strange moment came when Republican Paul Gosar of Arizona brought up a poster board on display at the hearing.
No one should ever listen to you and give you credibility.
Putting up silly things like this,
Oh, that's silly.
really unbecoming of Congress. I'm responsible for your silliness because I did the same thing that you're doing now for 10 years.
While the testimony was going on here in the U.S., President Trump was in Vietnam for a summit with North Korea. Here's Reggie Thomas with more.
On Thursday, February the 28th, President Trump and North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un met in Vietnam for the 2019 Hanoi summit. At the meeting, both leaders discussed plans of negotiating a truce for North Korea to initiate a partial denuclearization. In exchange, North Korea asked the United States to lift economic and financial sanctions that have been placed on their country by UN countries, including the U.S. The summit came to an end an hour earlier than scheduled as the two leaders were not able to come to an agreement. President Trump claims that a deal could not be made because North Korea asked for all the sanctions to be removed instead of only just a few. President Trump addressed the media immediately after the conclusion of the summit.
They wanted the sanctions lifted in their entirety, and we couldn't do that. They were willing to denuke a large portion of the areas that we wanted, but we couldn't give up all of the sanctions for that. So we continue to work, and we'll see, but we had to walk away from that particular suggestion.
Now back to Joe to tell you about developments in the North Carolina election fraud case.
The North Carolina State Board of Elections unanimously decided to call for an election redo because of a, quote, coordinated, unlawful, and substantially resourced absentee ballot scheme. The 2018 election in favor of Republican Representative Mark Harris has been overturned, and Harris has decided not to run again for health reasons. During his campaign, Harris hired a political operative, Leslie McCrae Dallas, for his absentee ballot program that Harris claims he did not know was election fraud. McCrae Dallas was arrested on counts of obstruction of justice and possession of absentee ballots. The last time there was a redo election was in the post-Watergate midterm 1974. It has been a pretty crazy week in politics. We'll make sure to keep you informed with any major updates, and we'll see you next week.